Hi and welcome to howtowaterfedpoleperfect.com. And in this episode we're talking about how to tackle your fear of customers. It might seem a bit of an odd thing to say, having fear of your customers, but I think that's something that's really alive and well in this industry. I didn't get the water-fed pole system for years, even though people I knew got the water-fed pole, because I really was afraid of my customers. I had fear of my customers. I said things like, my customers are very picky, my customers expect a top job, my customers would hate to see their windows wet at the end of it, and for all of those reasons I didn't get the water-fed pole system. I would have said things like, I can't afford to lose any customers, I only have just about enough customers at the moment. So that's the kind of reason I would have had. And since I've got the water-fed pole system, as you can see behind me here, I've talked to friends of mine that do window cleaning, and they'd have the same perspective now. Oh, I can't get the water-fed pole system because my customers wouldn't like it. It's a big expense, it's a big outlay. And my customers wouldn't like it. I'd lose work instead of gaining work. And really coming from that side of fear. And what I'm kind of here to say to you today is that you can't move on with your business, or you can't really grow your business properly until you get rid of that fear and you stop coming from a place of fear. And it's very understandable, it's a very natural outlook to have, but you're really not going to progress. Now, since I've gone to the water-fed pole system, I've not lost one customer from using it. Not one customer has even complained at the use of the water-fed pole system. And that's because of my outlook. I have supreme confidence because of the tips and tricks that I've learned with the water-fed pole system that I can go and do an absolutely perfect job every single time. And because of that, I can sell it to my customer. I can say, oh, I'm using the water-fed pole system now. It does a fantastic job on the frames. It gets into all the frames really good the way that a cloth couldn't. So it does all that at the same time. It's safer. It'll do it in a more effective way, which of course is benefit to me, benefit to the customer. There's no ladders on their property. There's less risk. All these fantastic benefits, and once the customer hears that it does a better job, it does it quicker, it does it safer, why wouldn't they want you to do it that way? But I suppose at the start I crept up to a job, I was afraid to use it at a job, and really because I didn't have confidence in the tools that I was using. But if you have complete confidence in the pole system, well then it's no problem. You can pull up, you can have that confidence and you can sell it to your customers, and before you know it you'll get great advantages. Like for instance, the house that I'm at now is a massive house. The customer actually isn't in today, and that's why I can shoot this video. But the house it's a big massive house, conservatory, the whole works, and it normally takes me an hour, whereas it took me half an hour today to do an absolutely fantastic job on their windows, something that they'll be delighted with. And really, until you come to that point where you have that confidence, you can progress. But that progression will lead you on to greater things. You can get jobs done quicker, faster, safer, and you can take on other jobs using the pole system, which we'll show in later episode how good it is on fascia and soffits and things like that. So until you're coming from a point of not working out of fear, but instead of working out of fear, working out of opportunity. So instead of having the mindset of I could lose all these customers, or customers mightn't be happy, instead you should be thinking of the opportunity that you're giving your customers. You're giving your customers a better service. That's something to be proud of. That's something that's an opportunity. By being more professional, you can go for jobs that you would never have gone for before. Go for 3-story jobs. Go for really high, awkward 2-story jobs. Sheets of glass that you would never have quoted for before. You can have that confidence to then go into those establishments and say, do you know what, I prefer provide a first-class cleaning service. I use a water-fed pole system, so there's no ladders, and yet I can do a perfect job from the ground level, giving you a perfect job at a great price. So instead of viewing moving ahead with the water-fed pole system as something to be afraid of, a threat to your business, instead it should be an opportunity to your business. And you know what? I never offer a customer the opportunity to go back to the old system. Now, if they were absolutely adamant, if they didn't want a better job, done safer, they wanted the traditional method, you can always go back to that. But you know what? I've never had to offer that to a customer because everyone has been satisfied. In fact, for instance, I was at a job yesterday and they don't get their windows done very often, and I went ahead with the water-fed pole system. I explained what it was, and the customer actually said to me, and maybe you don't realise this, you think you're providing a service, you think they're buying just clean windows. Well, they're not just buying clean windows, because this customer said to me, Stephen, you're coming here for years. Admittedly, we don't get it done very often. Every time you've come, you've done a perfect job. We know that's your standard. And as that's your standard, we know whatever service you give us today, it's going to be great. So you'd be surprised how much trust is in you as a person rather than just the service you provide. Sure enough, people want a good service, but people also buy you as their window cleaner. They buy you for the trust, they buy you for the level of service that you provide to them. So I suppose that's why it's also important in your round, not just to be the window cleaner or the cleaner, but to have a rapport with the customer, to have that couple of minutes of chat and rapport, and to have a sincere, proper interest in them. And by doing that and building up that level of confidence, by building up that brand loyalty with them, you're not just providing the end product, you're providing an experience. So if you can do that, you can transition really over quickly with the water-fed pole. So how do you do that practically? Say you went out and bought the water-fed pole. How do you do that? Well, what I'd say to you is practice at home on your own windows. Do the outside, follow the videos that I make, do the outside of your own house. Go inside after it's dried and do them manually. See where you've gone wrong. See what windows haven't come out well. Why have they not come out well? Learn from that. Go back, do them again. And see, did they come out well this time? Do the same with friends and family. Do that first. Become proficient at it so that you can do a good job. And learn, why did that window leave a run? Why did that window leave spots? What's wrong in my technique in doing this, that, or the other? And then start small and bit by bit with your regular customers. The water-fed pole system is probably easier to start and do a good job on windows that aren't absolutely filthy. When they're absolutely filthy, they take a little bit more skill and technique. So start off on a regular customer, maybe shop windows or something like that, commercial or industrial work that you might have. Start off there using the water-fed pole system. Go inside. How did they come out? Do you need to do them again? Well, you might need to go do them again. Trial and error that way. And bit by bit, don't go out and say, right, I'm not taking ladders to work anymore, all of my customers are going to water-fed pole. No, start off bit by bit. Choose one or two customers, experiment there, see how you get on. And as your confidence grows, you can, after a month or two, you'll be so confident in the water-fed pole system and the job that you can do that you'll just go, yeah, bang, 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 I can completely trust in the water-fed pole system. Now, you might still need ladders for occasional jobs or jobs you know have a roof and you need to get up on, say, like a flat roof to do a whole section of glass up on that roof. But in general, like today, I don't have ladders with me because the regular customers I know, I don't need to have those with you. So my advice to you to summarise this whole lengthy, gobbledygook, long episode is don't come from a place of fear. If you come from a place of fear, there's no point getting the pole system. If you worry about, oh, is my customer going to say no to me today? If I turn up, will they say yes? Will they say no? that's a bad place to come from. Instead, you need to move on from that. You need to seek out the opportunities. Do you have flyers done? Do they look professional? Again, I'll do a video on that. Am I putting myself forward on the best light? Customers will sense that aspect of fear, but if you're confident, provide a good service, the customer should also be glad that you provide such a good service. So go ahead, start off small. Don't work from the place of fear. Look from the place of opportunity. You might not like the sales side of business, but you know what? You have to get over it. All of us are in a place of sales. We have to sell ourselves. That's what it's about in every business. So get onto a point of opportunity. When you're driving around, if you have the pole system, think to yourself, oh, do you know what? That's 3 stories. They're filthy. If I go up there and say to them, you know, for X amount, which could be twice what you're used to make doing the traditional method,